evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Thurman. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Zachary. Well, what? I spent hours and hours looking at sync ads today. It's just so great to look at.
I hear some people have a problem with that. They watch too many sync ads.
Sync ads. No, this is literally a sync
Yeah,
ad.
yeah. They're like, oh. And then the lady got stuck in the sink. And so the guy had to help her get out. Sink ads.
Oh, this is a literal sync
Yeah,
ad.
yeah, you know to convince me, brother. You repent to the
This will
Lord.
this will be my second post, my YouTube post ever, posting the sync ad below.
Whatever, you never posted anything in the last video
I didn't because I
confirming
pulled
that
it
I
up
was
on.
100% correct.
No, I pulled it up while I was talking.
No,
I didn't need to post
no
it.
one can see that. What are you
Because
talking about?
I went to the land of bald eagles and freedom, Missouri, to get my gas, which is like 50 cents cheaper than here in Illinois.
You're just wrong. You're just wrong, Adam. There's really no way you can prove that you are correct. I think we confirmed that the science had said that you were wrong. And as we all
The
know,
science said that gas is not cheaper in Missouri.
the science
But as you know, the
is
science
never
is
wrong.
always changing.
Well, the science is always changing, and the science is always correct.
Oh, it's not immutable. Interesting.
That's the trick with the science. If you think that
One
you've
day,
trumped the science, and the science was ever not correct, you're wrong because the science has shown that it is correct by
it
its
is correct to
becoming.
lobotomize with an ice pick your daughter or whatever because she likes to go to parties.
We knew the job was done when she could no longer recite the Lord's Prayer.
No, wait, hold on.
Monster.
No more worries, Jack Kennedy. We got it done.
I imagine the doctor, if I can even call that individual a doctor, had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth as he was moving the pick in there. Hanging out, you know. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it. Sip a bourbon.
It, it doesn't have to be precise.
It's just more art than science at that point.
Yeah, but I'm glad, Zachary, that lobotomizing is a horrible stain of the past and not currently being done or advocated.
Oh yes, no one ever is lobotomized, or no one ever says that we should lobotomize people. Adam, that's a
Just
distance
yeah,
deep past. The
right, just
science,
like slavery.
the science would never reinstate lobotomization as a legitimate treatment. Praise science. Praise science. Oh,
Anyone who opposes science, I shall crush them like a clam on my belly.
oh, I forgot to tell you all. We're coming to you live straight from the Twitter boardroom where a devious cabal has planted a poison pill to prevent the hostile takeover of tech billionaire and evil mad scientist Elon Musk. If he takes over, Adam, it's over. It's over.
all humanity is just
All
done.
things will collapse.
The seventh seal will be broken.
Adam, people that think differently than me will be able to say their opinions without recourse.
I mean, we can't allow that.
Someone might say, type out loud, the N word.
Well, I don't really have a desire to do that, but
No, someone will do it, and that's literal violence against our people.
I don't know how to unpack that. But that's not what I would do. I would, I think it would be just handy dandy to like tell, I don't know, a blue check to go F themselves and then be fine,
You
but
can.
can't be fine. You have to, you
There,
have
there
to
are
create a
literal.
fake email. You have to create a fake email and then also have a
No,
fake, you have to put up, I don't know, just screen grab some anime avatar.
there are literal like clansmen, like grand dragons, just like chilling, straight chilling on Twitter.
Are they? I thought they were kicked out.
There are straight Islamic terrorists straight chilling on
Oh well,
Twitter.
yeah, of course, obviously the Taliban. They were trolling and also being trolled, as we've noted last August when we talked about the Saigon episode.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, sorry, Kabul.
people literally calling for the genocide of Israel, and they're like, ah, no, that's cool. They can keep their Twitter account.
But don't you dare say that 5G is any way related to COVID. What? It's like
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking that at all because why would I think that? Why would I think that antenna towers be impacting COVID? Oh, I'm
well,
just saying that if you say that, you're going to be kicked out.
I've got some literature I need to send you after this episode because.
Oh no. Oh jeez.
uh, but no, I don't know,
Full
man.
distraction anyway. We should be talking about crows and ravens, corvids generally,
They're talking about the deep lore again.
and the dragons.
What was it? The Ozark Howler? Was that what you
Oh,
sent
I just learned about that, so
me?
probably be an episode in and of itself. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. There was a time, Adam, and it still exists. You can go places on the internet where there is little to no moderation or whatever. You can say whatever you want. Any kind of slurs, crazy nonsense, genocidal provocations. And it's just like, that's just part of how those people act and communicate. And maybe they don't want Twitter to be
okay.
like that.
Maybe.
I think that that's different than say, okay, so if you moderate and you say if you use racial slurs, you get banned. Stop, get out. Or if you call for violence against people, beat it, hit the
Yeah,
bricks, buddy. And you can
yeah.
do stuff like
At,
that,
you
and then
know,
that's cool.
at Zachary W underscore Clark lives at 123 Main Street. Go get him.
Yeah, yeah, it's not good. But if like you're what Twitter's doing is a little different than that. They modify interaction and stuff to shadow ban people, which is basically they hide your content from people that would otherwise get it by using their background operations.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny because there's like you can click on people and you can scroll down through the replies, and then you get to a segment at the end. It's like show replies that are offensive, and then like you click on it, and so sometimes you'll see ones that'll be like show the offensive replies, and you can click it, and it'll be like prayers for you, bro, and I'm like that's weird.
Yeah,
That's not.
I always
That
want to. It's because those accounts have posted wrong think or offensive material before, and so then they get
maybe they're a
shunted.
minute before they're like and then you the scroll next their next reply is like love you bro prayers
I
hope your aunt feels better.
I always scroll to the bottom because that's where all the good stuff is. The first stuff's all,
That
but
is true.
you can just scroll through a Twitter feed and it's like obviously the top part has been artificially elevated because it promotes narrative or whatever, and the
Yeah,
stuff that's like argue against it or is counter narrative is hidden behind 2 clicks 50 replies down the Twitter thing. It's like,
Right.
okay, I think you guys are doing the bad thing. Why don't you just put this in chronological order? You added a downvote button. Just let everything take care
Or
of
do
itself.
that, yeah.
But I don't know. Whatever.
You can sort by downvote, upvote. That'd be great.
Yes, I want to see
Be
the
like,
thing with
hey,
the most
hey,
downvotes first, please.
who's the worst on here? And you can see it's like, oh, the guy who said,
Poo poo pee pee poo.
no, he would get the top spot, obviously.
Every time.
Oh no. Duh. Who would get the worst spot? Would be the person who goes downvote this. You just
Let's just say downvote this, and then the guy replies to that one with ratio, and he gets downvoted harder because the new ratio is whoever gets downvoted hardest.
and no one cares about the fact that UFO documentation.
I don't know, man. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not a tech billionaire, so I don't have a dog in this fight. But there may or may not be dog fights in the scatter radio.
Was that almost a song, almost like a painful cry for help.
Oh, he hears me. Earlier, QPD, QFD, and EMS responded to the east side of 14th Street for a male lying in the grass. Oh no, what was wrong? No problem.
Hey, what's that you?
Person was taking a nap. I wish. Ah, there's really nothing better than a nice lay down in the grass on a sunny day.
The guy was just taking a nap.
Oh, that was over by my old house, though. 14th.
Dude, why did no one checked on him? They just saw him from just like peeking through the blinds, but like,
911! 911, we got a situation.
the guy's been laying there for several hours.
Problem. There's a guy, he's in the grass. Just laying there.
After he burned it, he just lied down.
You notice, Adam, QPD, QFD, and EMS responded. There was a police car, an ambulance, and a fire truck on the scene.
Yeah, dude,
for a guy
that
taking
was like
a nap in the grass.
It was like $20,000 call.
Woo! Sir, are you guys like what? Hey, I thought this was America, huh? I'm napping. Hey.
I can't even take a nap in my own house. I can't even take a nap in my own yard.
These people can't catch a break, can't catch a moment of peace. Since when, I say, in this great fair city of ours, can a man not lay in the sun in the grass, have a nice little lay down? That's a sign of the times, brother. Sign of the times. What else we got? 1600 block on Broadway. Male with a knife threatening to kill people. QPD en route. 6200 block of Broadway. That's way out there. That'd probably be out by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wait. No. I think it's Groove Inn. The Groove Inn out there on the way out
Grove Inn?
The Groove Inn.
The Grove?
Groove Inn.
That's been there for a while, apparently. That's like one of the go-to places.
I tried to talk Allison into going there with me one time. She said no. We would not go.
Apparently, it's like really good food and a good bar to hang out at.
I hear it gets a little wild sometimes.
Probably.
I've been reliably informed.
At 1:15 p.m. I don't know what you're doing there at 1:15.
Getting in a knife fight, obviously. There's been some wild scanner posts with like people wigging out like this. I think it's pent up. I think because we've had mild fight seasons the last couple of years because of the pandemic.
Yes, That, and we've had a lot more snow this year.
So I think it's gonna come unglued.
I need to send you something later because I saw something. I
I look
saw,
forward to
whatever.
it.
Video said the caption was like, "You can tell it's warming up in New York City."
Oh
A
no.
fight with with wooden planks.
Oh, nice. We haven't had a good board fight in a while either.
I don't know.
Next week, board fight. All right, let's see what else we got. All right. Oh, this is a good one. It wasn't just humans wiling out. Inbox. Raccoons! They broke into our apartments. 823 North 12th Street.
Talking about
Prayers.
getting close to your.
Prayers. Raccoon admits being present but says Possum was the one who entered. He also objects to being profiled in this situation. Raccoon says he will have no additional statements on advice of his attorney. It's a smart move. As some of my favorite internet attorneys say, if the police ever question you, shut the F up. Do not say anything. You will not talk yourself out of it. Cop says, what are you doing? You shut the F up. I'm not interested in having a conversation. Am I being detained?
Also, ill-advised to tell your, when you're at Easter Sunday, when you're shaking hands with everyone.
No, that's super advice. That's especially advice because the greeting part is the worst part of the entire church service.
Shake hands with someone you've never done it, and then they peace be with you. It's like, am I being detained? All right, let's never do that again with Adam.
Yeah, I hate it. I've loved actually the COVID restrictions because they just allowed us to wave at people, and I'm like, this is much better. I can just sort of give a nod, give the finger guns to all the people sitting in the back 2 rows with me.
Shouting, "He is risen," and everyone's been like, "Oh, what? Why are you so excited?"
Well, I'm getting ready, man, because it's coming up. We got Easter coming up, and I will be shouting my hosannas in the highest.
You'd be like David. Hey, what? I'm going to dance in my underwear in Jerusalem. What are you going to say about it? Nothing.
As usual, the wife will be extremely embarrassed, and I won't care at all. My hallelujahs will ring forth in that church on Sunday morning. Actually, I don't know. Maybe she conspired with them because I'm actually going to have to stay to the back and run a computer thing for the service. So.
Computers? What? I thought you said you were Lutheran.
Is this a Roman temple? Ah! Ah! Best scene from the hit Cromwell movie.
No, it is okay. One of the best. It's a best scene for a certain reason.
What is this? Everybody's just like, oh no. It's fine. Just chill out. The king said so. He's like, no.
My favorite scene. All right, so it's from the movie Cromwell, which is about our Puritan hero, Oliver Cromwell. And my favorite scene from that is the battle at the beginning when like they're like, oh, we've assembled here. What do you say? We'll do it at 11:20. What do you got? Oh, yes. In 10 minutes, we'll commence battle. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Let's go back to our stations. And then, like, we're going to commence battle in 10 minutes. Let's just wait here. I'm like, he's like, what are we doing? Let's go. Charge.
That wasn't my favorite scene. That was just dumb.
No, it wasn't. It was so good, and also the choreography was very special because they don't make things like that anymore.
For me, it's a tie between when they have the candlesticks on the altar and the scene where he's like, "It is civil war."
when they, when they do that, it's like dun, 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 civil war. We don't want any dun, 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 civil war. That's good.
Gentlemen, we have civil war. Dun, 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 dun. That one is hilarious, and the other one is just like he's walking in. He's like, "Oh, Oliver, good to see you." And they're like, "Oh, they're getting ready," and they start to pray, and he looks up. What is this? What have you done? Oh no, Oliver, please.
just sit down and don't. Just sit there. You're embarrassing me.
Talk to him after the service, Oliver. It's fine.
No, or the other one, Zach. The other one where it's like, who is it? King Charles, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna be beheaded," and then wait, because I'll be praying, and then when I go like this, then you can kill me.
Just reliving that film makes me want to go rewatch it again. It's so wonderful.
I know, right? It's like 3 hours long.
But it was so great. So many moments.
Well, I'm teasing the film a lot, but like their acting was all like, stage acting, play acting too. So like the acting is a tad different than stuff nowadays.
Rhett Vern,
Yeah.
my friend.
No.
Oh. Hey, what do you know about NFTs? I hear there's a new thing. It's like owning the Mona Lisa in digital form.
I don't want to get strikes on our channel for what NFTs sound fake and like a scam. So I just want to say that.
No. Obviously, they're going to retain value. It's going to be like crypto. To the moon, bro. To the moon. Just like, did you hear, like, Jack Dorsey sold an NFT of his first tweet or whatever for millions. So I'm sure that's doing well. Let's see if there's anything about that coming up. Maybe it's unrelated to... Oh, wait, here we go. NFT of Jack Dorsey's first tweet sold for $2.9 million, nigh on $3 million. 1 year later, it went to auction and 448C skyrocketing. It was on auction for $48 million, Adam. No need to keep reading. Oh, wait. But the highest bid received was only $280.
Okay, so a couple of things. I want to say, I think, okay, this reiterates my thing about NFTs being a scam. 2, I think that NFTs might be money laundering. It's not necessarily like a scam, but
that money laundering is a scam. So yes.
Oh, well, I don't know, but there's a thing of like scamming people out of their money and then like straight up money laundering for organized crime that obviously involves in whatever you said, $100 billion or whatever. And then 3, I think this might have been a troll because $288 is like $1 per character for a tweet. So I thought that might be something.
Someone trolling on the internet?
No.
I don't think that's ever happened before in the history of the internet, Adam. I'm forced to believe that that's not the case. Oh, we forgot to give an update last week, other than I think to briefly mention it, but the Senate approved Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to be appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Woo! Judge Jackson!
Okay, cool.
Breaking
Yeah,
the
Justice
glass
Jackson.
ceiling. Yes, Associate Justice to the Supreme Court, Justice
What
Jackson.
what day is she justice? You said last week?
Well, she was confirmed by
Justice.
the Senate, right? They confirm you, and then after you're confirmed, your appointment to the court is confirmed.
Okay, so what cases did she hear this past week?
I don't think she heard any cases, so maybe she was just taking the first week off.
That can't be right.
I thought it was
Why
very
would she
strange.
take the first? She took the first week off.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's very weird too because it's like basically Biden and the Senate decided to increase the number of justices on the court to 10 from 9, and no one really mentioned anything about it. It's very weird in
No,
general.
wait, no, that can't be. That can't be real. From 9 to 10. Don't you need? Doesn't it need to be? Well, I guess it's a law.
The judge that she's replacing is still alive. That's a lifetime appointment. We've covered this, Adam. As long as they're alive, they're still the judge.
No, you can resign.
No,
then
you cannot.
you can-
That'd be like quitting being Pope or something. You can't quit being Pope.
Oh, you could do that too. Obviously, it's been the first time back in like 2013 or whatever. It was the first time in like 500 years or something.
Yeah, you just become an anti-Pope then if you try to take over popeship.
It's wild because the first time that was like the only time that happened before was before like. Wait, where's my math? Yeah, no, okay. The only time it happened before was before Protestants existed. If there's 400 years and it was done in. No, I did the math wrong. I did it in 19. Protestants were new. There we go. 100 years.
Yeah. Well, it was very interesting. One thing was that, so it was announced, and they weren't just touting that she might happen to be the first black woman to be appointed and confirmed to the court, and maybe a sitting justice. We'll get into that in a little bit in a minute. But she also has significant experience as a public defender. And there were a lot of people on the Twitter and other places talking about how, people who defend criminals, they're bad people, and the lawyers who do that shouldn't be judges and stuff. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, well, I mean,
All my secret knowledge of being a lawyer burdens me, knowing that those people are idiots.
it's not even. You mean being a good lawyer, sir?
Yeah, if you're a good lawyer, Adam, you're apparently not allowed to be on the court. Was it like John Adams defended the British soldiers who had killed those people in the Boston Massacre?
Yeah.
And that was held up as like a virtuous, noble act, embodying the spirit of being an attorney.
Yes.
For like hundreds of years now, and everybody's like, now it's like, nah, if they're bad, you should just kill them in the street without trial or whatever.
I mean, it depends, Zach.
It's particularly with the nomination and confirmation of the first black woman is the time where we really need to talk about how due process is something that's very important.
Due process. You mean you have to do the process?
Yeah, you don't just form a mob and go find a guy and hang him from a lamppost or whatever.
No.
AKA lynching. Which is why, in the
to.
context of the appointment of a black woman, might really, really connect those dots for people. They're just like, I don't know what's going on, but defending criminals is bad. Everybody's guilty if they got arrested.
You need to arrest them and try them and then hang them.
Yeah, if they're guilty, I know plenty of times where there's people that the government's just screwing. I know enough about the government to know that they are bad and that you shouldn't trust them when they say someone did something wrong. You have to make them jump through a lot of hoops.
Drop guns.
Oh, I
Drop
know.
credit
I
cards.
know. Adam, I'm saying.
Drop credit cards.
That's why defense attorneys are very important because they can say, "Hey, you idiots, you can't just railroad this guy."
What was what was that like? Oh, we had a witness see that he crawled into the fire escape, crawled out of the fire escape, and it's like, there's no fire escape to the building, so I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking
you know what
about.
you're talking about.
Oh no, for real, it was.
Yeah, obviously you're making up stuff and lying. It's good, it's not cool, and because of that, even if my guy did do it, because you're trying to convict him on lies.
Wait. So
Get out of
you
here.
picked my the witness you picked my guy out of a lineup. Well, yeah, it's like, he's the only black guy on the thing. Like,
The rest of these guys are wearing
the
police
cops
uniforms.
told me. The cops told me it was number 7.
They gave me a book, and the officer took his finger, and he says, "Hey, do any of these people look familiar? Like they might be the one that did this
Yeah.
crime."
It's like I told him, right? I told him no, and then I filed an official report with his superior officer, and then I was told I needed to get out of
Yeah,
here.
because they were going to literally follow me around and harass me until I was either in jail or dead or left town anyway. Oh, wonderful. Oh, the police in the state. They're such good people. That's why we don't need defense attorneys to defend criminals. Why would they ever do anything bad? Ugh. Anyway, if you're going to attack Ketanji Brown Jackson, you might just go after her for being soft on pedos, like everybody was talking about 3 weeks ago or whatever. And
Yeah,
not
that's
that she was
the
defense
winning
attorney.
argument.
Even that argument is soft because apparently the entire system is soft on pedophiles. So she was just caught up in that flow, man. Caught up in the tides rolling.
That's that's an Alex Jones moment. I mean, that's a good.
Well, seriously, because like when I looked at some of the information and what she was basically doing was for a lot of those cases that they brought out were like, oh, and she was deviating below the recommended guidelines, etc., etc. It's like, yeah, what happens is you have a recommendation by the prosecution and a recommendation by the defense in that situation, and then there's third parties like the probation department and stuff like this. They'll say things like that, and then you have the guidelines, and all these things go together, right? But basically, what she was doing was taking and splitting the difference between what the defense wanted and what the state was asking for. So it wasn't even a thing. It was like a compromise stuff. It's like, I don't, whatever. All right, this sounds good to me. Click. Next case. That's kind of lazy.
I've
Kind of
already
lazy.
ruled. Oh gosh.
kind of lazy a little bit about that
Yeah.
stuff, but nothing
No,
nefarious.
Max sentencing.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, even though the news didn't actually do their job and find out, there are some 30% of judges in the federal system that aren't deviating below the guidelines. So
No, you think that you think
talk to that guy, like, what's going on? He's like, I always max them out. Those people are sick.
yeah, you'd think that the articles would have said something along the lines of like, "Oh, she just split the difference on these things," rather than like, actually
Yeah,
being lenient on pedophiles is extremely common.
it's good.
It's like
It's a good thing.
That's a weird.
It's how
That's
the
a weird
system
thing
works.
to be admitting.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was weird, and it got caught up in that. If they're attacking us, then we have to just manufacture a way of saying this that makes it sound like we're correct from the beginning. Ugh.
Yeah, that's.
It's like
Yeah,
just
the
say
winning
just
strategy.
say no and just type the facts. I don't get it, news. There used to be a time. Ugh, who am I? How am I like from the 1950s? I guess I don't know. Even in my lifetime, it seems like it wasn't this bad, but I don't know.
Well, I'm at the ripe old age of 32.
But yeah, so this came up, and this guy for the National Review did a breakdown on a situation that we were referencing, alluding to, if you will. But Justice Breyer is still a Supreme Court justice. He gave a future retirement date, and then to get somebody lined up, old Joey B and his crew, they appointed a lady ahead of time, get through the process. But can you appoint somebody to a seat that isn't vacant? If you can appoint someone to a seat that isn't vacant, does this allude to a precedent where you could appoint somebody for somebody who maybe has a more distant retirement date? Justice Breyer is retiring sometime this summer. I don't even know if there's a hard and fast date. But let's say someone says, I plan on only being a Supreme Court judge for another year. And you might say that during a favorable administration for whatever your particular judicial tendencies are. So, like in Alito during the last year of Trump, could have said, I'm going to retire next year. And then Trump could then pre-appoint somebody to fill Alito's seat on the court into Biden's first term as president.
You don't even need to go. You don't even need to go back. I mean, then you just extrapolate that.
Yes.
So you know what? Someday this person's going to retire.
Exactly correct. Why don't we have 9 backups right now? These are who are in line. They've already been confirmed by the Senate. No, Trump appointed them all. Double backups.
9.
There's like 2 in a row.
18 backups.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have the court filled vacancy wise by the Trump administration for the next 100 years. Why not?
I'm just 100. I was thinking 200.
And there's nothing. It doesn't even make sense.
No.
I went ahead and read the Constitution, as is my point.
Wait, what? The what?
And it doesn't give a precise procedure for how the number of justices are to be set, established, and changed for the Supreme Court. It only says that the court is to be filled by appointment by the president and confirmation by the Senate. And so I guess the way that would work would be president would then appoint new ones, and then the Senate, if confirmed, they would just be on the court. So then, as I was saying now, since they have confirmed Justice Jackson that she is actually a Supreme Court justice and is on the court, and there are 10 instead of 9 until Breyer retires or whatever in June. Very strange.
I thought I could be mistaken. I thought that who sets the number of Supreme Court justices?
The Constitution doesn't say.
Well, right. And I know it's fluctuated over the centuries.
I think what they do is there's a statute that does that. But I
was going to say, I thought it was an actual statute instead of like appointments or whatever.
And what I'm getting at is there's no constitutional authorization for Congress to do that. The only thing that Congress can do is establish certain lesser courts, do these kinds of things. As far as people becoming Supreme Court justices, it's appointment by the president, confirmation by the Senate. So, if old Joey B wanted to pack the court, and they were alluding to ways that they could do that without like congressional approval and stuff, according to the Constitution, all he would need to do is to do it, and then have them confirmed. Upon that, then you could have attrition. You wouldn't need to fill a seat when it becomes vacant. You could have 8 justices on there and just never fill one. And just keep rocking and rolling. Drop down to 7. 3. Go up to 103. Country's a lot bigger than it was when 9 were first on there. They need to hear more cases. Really energize the judicial activism, and it'll be interesting.
And more justices than senators.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you had a sh- a shift, let's say, away from executive, because like we've had executive primacy since the Civil War, or with like the imperial presidency
Oh,
and stuff like this.
not
If
since the Civil War. It'd be like since World War One or Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt.
yeah, Lincoln, he never exercised any
Well, he
imperialistic
was the.
tendencies.
It was him. He was the odd man out. You don't know, like, uh, there was a pretty strong legislature beforehand and afterwards.
Right, but he sort of set a precedent, right? That you could look back to, and ever since are comparing themselves to, oh, the great Abraham Lincoln, who usurped political and state power for himself,
Now, that's not what they look. That's
to
not what they.
wielding it as a cudgel to preserve union and to
He
defeat
stands right,
rebellion.
but he stands out because he was the strong. He was the strongest executive in the midst of weak executives and a strong Congress.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you got before him? Buchanan. I
well,
don't even know. I don't remember who. I used to. I don't remember.
that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, and then the mythos of that grows until it's like people expect and want that. They consider
And
it
then
a
you
good
get like the
thing.
rise of the executive orders is really where you get that, and with Woodrow Wilson and yeah,
So I would say that it started with Lincoln. Lincoln planted those seeds. I mean, I don't know, because you always had little things like even at the very beginning where Washington rides out and himself suppresses the whiskey rebellion, and
yeah. I mean,
Thomas
maintain
Jefferson, Louisiana Purchase.
usually like held. You probably get it with FDR onward from like maintained, right? Starts with FDR and then after prior to it you get like previews with the things like you said, the Whiskey Rebellion, Louisiana Purchase.
Trail of Tears.
Uh,
Don't forget old Andrew there.
no, you're right. Trail of Tears. Uh, the suspension of habeas corpus with Lincoln. Um, Teddy Roosevelt doing the the appropriations to the U.S. Navy.
Planting the seeds. And it's interesting because we hear those stories about these guys, about these presidents. I don't know. I couldn't tell you much about the Congress, in 1830 or whatever. But I can tell you about the time that Andrew Jackson defied the Supreme Court and displaced all the Cherokee or whatever.
Seminole.
Whatever. Engines, they all the same. But so it's like this thing, this mythos grows, and more, the idea of what we are is an executive taking extra, ultra vires outside of their
Yes,
like regulation powers to do great things and stuff. And that's like,
yes, and soon you'll see them crossing the Rubicon. I mean the Potomac.
well, that's exactly right. It's moving further and further to more autonomous executive, wherein the legislature's there to advance and help him. Oh, they're just a roadblock to achieving the greatness of living. That's exactly what you get when someone is finally just like, nah, it's we don't need those guys anymore. Executive Order Jones in the White
Yeah.
House in 2008 or whatever.
If just this morning we dissolved the Senate, an old bygone, an old institution from a bygone era. What?
Oh, but we do need to talk about Elon. So let's do that before we get too far down the road on this. Ugh. Old Elon Musk started making waves when he purchased like 9.1% of Twitter's stock outstanding. The African American owned Twitter, Elon being a immigrant from Africa, if you didn't know. People push back on you. No, whites from South Africa are Afrikaans, not Africans.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
I
that.
don't know anything about any of that stuff. White people can't be African, bro. Duh.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I remember Seether. He was South African, like the band is South African.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good life. Good life. At least they were 10, 15,
I've heard great things.
15 years ago.
I can't justify spending like $100 to go see a concert show these days.
No, dude, it was like $5. it was like $5.
Back when I could go to Mississippi Nights and catch like a double header of some obscure indie band for $15 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said,
Bygone era, bro.
At Davis Park in Rockford. In the mud. Literal mud.
But we had this excellent Babylon Bee headline. Liberals outraged to learn 10% of Twitter now owned by African American. But he did. He bought it, and then there was an announcement. I think there was even like an SEC complaint, like, "Oh, that Elon, he's breaking the law again. Ooh, because he's telling people he owns stock or something like this." But there had to be a meeting for the employees that were concerned. So a company-wide Twitter meeting were held because the employees were concerned of Tesla CEO Elon Musk's influence on the company's board. Oh, that Elon, he's going to change our very healthy culture here at Twitter.
It's so absurd. It's so absurd. Usually it's like
minority stake in the company.
It's that is true. He has the largest stake in Twitter, but it is a minority stake.
Yeah. Not even a 10% holding there. So
makes me want to just buy some Twitter though. It's like, hey, what's your slate, Twitter, Elon? Let's go.
I'll throw in my 3 shares. It's like, because I think that was trading like $40 or whatever. I'm gonna spend $40 for a meme.
Oh, Twitter's the next meme stock.
Oh,
there we go.
Well, it was. Well, when it came out that he had bought it, and that there was then scuttlebutt about him getting on the board, that the stock value had shot up, and I believe it was Unusual Whales, you were saying, was like, Elon has already made like $3 billion on his investment in Twitter, just from the price increase from when he had purchased it to
correct
when all the hype was coming down. But they were upset. They had to have a little cry-in over at Twitter because
little cry-in.
Yeah, Big Bad Elon's gonna come in and tell them that they can't censor conservatives anymore. Oh,
that's the thing. It's 50 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, people would be upset that like they're doing like hostile takeover was basically you buy out the company and you like kill the jobs. Fired. Pack it up.
Well,
Big Bad Industries here.
Yeah, like if you ever seen the film Pretty Woman.
No, I have not.
Oh,
I know.
Richard Gere.
I just saw Blade a couple months ago.
Richard Gere is a one of those guys. They buy companies, and then because their stock is undervalued compared to like the assets of the company, and they can sell off different assets and units and things like that, which would be more valuable than the stock purchased, and so then you make billions on the difference or whatever. So you can do that. I don't think Elon had any intents for doing that, but they did enter into conversations, and they said, Elon, we will give you a seat on the board. You will have a say in how the company runs, but you cannot own more than 14.9% of our company. And I think, even though it didn't come out, they were also said that you weren't able to mouth off about Twitter on Twitter anymore.
Wait. I didn't read anything about that.
I know, I was between the lines.
Oh, okay. I see.
The
Okay, I'm
the
with you.
details.
I'm with you.
The only like solid detail that emerged from that thing was that he would have to limit his ownership stake. But I don't think that was it.
Right.
Just from
Right.
because if that was it, then it's like, okay, well, there's ways around that too down the road, and I don't know, however you structure the agreement. So you would have.
Oh,
to
we've fantasized about having, corporations owning corporations and
yes, this is what I'm saying.
trust owning. Yeah, so like, there's ways to do it.
Elon,
Who's a beneficial owner? Oh, I don't even know.
Elon's kids can own a bunch of Twitter stock. I don't know, whatever. There's trusts and companies and things, shell corps,
partnerships, joint
whatever.
ventures. Oh,
there's ways.
man, there's a whole. I mean, and he has infinite money. I mean, kind of. So
I don't know.
He has the best attorneys.
We'll talk about that in a second. I don't know if he's got infinite money, but
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it was like, it seemed clear to me that there was something else there. They were trying to hem him in different ways to prevent him from exerting undue influence, to prevent them from carrying out the Twitter thing, even though I don't even understand what that means in a public company with broadly held shares, because your corporate dream is now providing a financial benefit to your shareholders. If your shareholders are three guys, and these three guys agree that we don't care about getting paid, we want Twitter to, be the greatest
center conservatives,
whatever, the greatest misinformation narrative controlling device ever conceived by man, then you could do that. If you have a hundred
so despicable,
100 million shareholders, you no longer can do that, because if you do not limit yourself to providing a return for your shareholders, which is your fiduciary obligation as the board of directors for this corporation, then you have breached your duties to those guys that are like, I don't want you guys to be Machiavellian controlling politics and stuff. I just want my share to go up and give me dividends, please.
Dividends.
You don't.
Dividends.
I own the company. You sold me your stock. You sold it to everybody. You don't get to do that anymore. It's not yours. The board of directors is on it. And this came through. There's all kinds of these whack job takes, but turns out that Elon had a plan in the works. Not just this board situation, which I think was a feint, but Elon decided that he wanted to make an offer. And to get around all the SEC guys that are giving him a hard time about, oh, you can't just say stuff, it's manipulation if you speak, which is also a crock. Elon made a bid, basically a tender offer for all of the outstanding shares of Twitter Inc., or whatever it's called, for a 54% premium over the share price that he had paid when he bought into the company, and so when he got his 9% or whatever, which turns out now, since the price jumped up, to be like a 34% premium or something like this.
Yeah, the price actually went down yesterday after this whole, I don't know, there's a weird adjustment overnight.
Well, it was inflated for no reason.
You're right.
It was just like hyped up or whatever.
Right.
And so then they're like, oh my gosh, now people are really freaking out. They're like, he's going to buy the whole thing. And I said, nah, dog, that ain't it. Obvious scam. Because I know more than 3 things about how corporate stock works.
I don't know. I see stuff about banks providing financing and stuff.
Whatever. Whatever. If it's a tender,
Like,
it wasn't a tender for I want to 43%, so I can get up to 51 or whatever it is ownership interest. It was a tender offer for all of it, which means that it fails if anybody doesn't sell their stock to Elon. All right, it's structured to fail from the initial offer stage, and that could be strategy to create the initial offer in such a way that there's no possible way it could be satisfied, so that he would always have an out. Leave room for negotiation, then you could bring it down, and so you could undersubscribe the tender and do things, and I don't know. But it was,
but didn't the board have to like vote to present this to the shareholders?
if you're going to do a tender like that, then I believe that is the procedure. Yes, the board has to then vote to approve
Approve or reject it?
yes, to go to the shareholders, because ultimately they can't tell you to sell your stock, even though a lot of people on Twitter who know less than three things about stock transactions. What if somebody doesn't agree to sell their stock? And I said, this guy has just pinpointed the problem with Elon's offer. And then someone goes, no, the board can make them do it. They can force them to sell it. It's part of how this works. And I'm like, that's not how this works at all, you idiots. You don't have to sell your stock.
I don't know.
There's different ways you could structure it, where you could pull along or give dissenters from a situation like this. Basically,
Right.
buy them out anyway. But
Correct.
but that's not how this offer was structured. It was a stock purchase. Basically, he said, "Hey, I want everybody who owns your company to sell me their stock, and here's the price." And then they're like, "Okay, we're not going to do that." Twitter declined to present this to their shareholders. And so then I thought, well, I mean, why would why
Oh, jeez.
why wouldn't Elon just then at the next annual meeting call or have a shareholder proposal? Hey, let's sell this stuff. Whatever. He's got 10% sway, and he can use his Twitter platform. I don't know, because if you're soliciting proxies and stuff, there's rules about that and stuff too, so you probably wouldn't be able to do too much. Maybe he could post links to the official proxy solicitation materials and things like that. Get enough
Hey
people.
man, he could gift me, billions of dollars just to buy Twitter stock and through a shell company, and I would vote whatever he wants.
Well, I did see some speculation there.
And I would do it for the low price of like $5.
There was a high level of trading volume over the last couple of days because Elon had mentioned to the news that he had a plan B. Elon says he has a plan B if the Twitter board doesn't approve his offer to purchase his company. And so they think that he might be doing a hostile takeover, doing secret, like we were talking about. You have shell corporations and partnership entities, or you create this cloud of people that can't be directly traced back to Elon that are all buying Twitter stock on the open market, but it all gets funneled back into his control, and that way he increases his stake. But then someone said, "This is Elon's plan B," and if you don't know, that is the Doom Dozer of revenge. That guy that went on that rampage out in Wyoming or whatever it took. Plan B.
Just take a bulldozer to it.
Drive through the Twitter server banks or whatever. But Twitter wasn't satisfied. Twitter, in a statement, said that its board of directors has unanimously adopted a poison pill defense in response to Tesla CEO Elon Musk's proposal to buy the company and take it private.
Oh, maybe I should wait to buy his Twitter stock to when it's devalued to like $5 a share.
Well, you need a share. The way that it was described in this AP article, and so I don't know, it was slim on details about it specifically, but and I can't believe that it would be like a specific shareholder, but it's the way the article said it was, if Elon's ownership interest goes over 15%, then it provides a way for current shareholders, except for Elon, to then buy discounted Twitter stock to dilute his ownership interest and make it unfeasibly expensive to then purchase all of their additional stock. Because how tenders work, as discussed, he makes an offer, he will buy all your stock at X price. But that triggers everybody in Twitter, owning Twitter, able to buy as much stock as they want at a discount that then he would have to buy at a premium even over what it was at normal prices. So it's a way that if he was to go through with it, he'd have to pay off like infinite amounts of money. So I guess that's it. I guess that's the end, unless we see what Plan B is. Because
it's just pay $10,000 to kill the guys at the board.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, he could have actual more ownership interest than is currently reported. He could not,
like de facto, right?
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
He could buy it on the open market instead of doing a tender through the SEC and the board, because there's really nothing. As long I think there's like disclosure requirements if you own a certain percentage, but other than that, there's nothing that can prevent you from calling your broker and having him, buy stock for sale. So, who knows? I guess we'll see. We'll know soon.
Yeah, he'll enlist the ape army.
There were some maniacs talking about like Elon, just give us the signal and we'll buy it. I'm like, oh my gosh, Elon's in enough SEC trouble without forming some sort of unlicensed de facto investment company with a bunch of Twitter autists.
That's what
stock.
Oh, that'd be so good, because they'd be like, "No, man, I'm not. I'm not victimized at all."
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It is illegal. It is illegal for you to try to sell stock to somebody, unless they have like $1 million net worth or something absurd. Because they're not sophisticated investors and they can't think.
I think, brains. No, there's something weird with that stuff. I remember, but I think that they've toned that down a bit over the past 5 to 7 years because of.
They haven't.
No, I thought that with like equity crowdfunding and stuff that.
No, it's because the law never changed, so they created a small carve out in the regs. So there's
the equity crowdfunding.
Yeah, there's some of that's allowed, but then you have to meet these certain SEC requirements, and I don't believe that it creates an exception to the accredited investor situation. But you don't know anything about that. You want to hear about what the ice cold fact of the week is, and here it is, coming to you straight from Ice-T himself. Ice cold fact: never tell your problems to anyone. 80% don't care, and 20% are glad you have them. Ice cold.
The 80-20 rule.
80-20 rule brought up by Ice-T when it comes to haters. Oh. 80% just doing what they do, and 20% are like, yeah, good.
Oh my gosh, I can't eat. I can't feed my family. Good.
Yeah, I hope you die. And that's our show, folks. Really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, smash like, subscribe, comment below with your favorite fact about Ice-T. Mine is that he will do anything to grab that bag.
My favorite is the whole, we've had it on here before, like hey, you stand with the gamers? Yeah, gamers are great. And he goes like all through a couple of like, do you stand with the journalists? And he's like, whoa,
hold on, I'm not crazy. Juggalos even, if I recall, was on the list, but not journalists. All right, folks. That's the show. Adam, did you have anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show?
No, no, I do not.
All right, folks. Well, that's it. But we will see you next time on Triggered.